Welcome to the channel. We are discussing recursion. Today in this tutorial, let's write factorial program using recursion. Factorial of a number is the product of that number and all positive integers less than it down to 1. Factorial of 5 is actually equal to product of 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. That is 120. If I want factorial of 4, product of 4, 3, 2, 1, 24. And also factorial can be represented using this symbol. This is factorial of 5. This is factorial of 4. And factorial of 1 is 1. Also special case factorial of 0 is also 1. Okay, so this is about factorial of a number. If I want to find factorial of a number, then we need to find the product of that number and all the positive integers less than that number down to 1. Now, I want to solve this problem using recursion. Recursion is a problem solving technique where a function calls itself to solve a problem, right? To solve this problem using recursion, I'll represent it like this. Here 5 into, this is 4, 3, 2, 1, I'll write it as 4 factorial. So to find the factorial of 5, first we need to find the factorial of 4. Then if we multiply 5 to that, then we'll get the result. So first I'll find the 4 factorial, then I'll multiply 5 to that. Here also I'll represent it like this, 4 into 3 factorial. Here 3 into 2 factorial. Here 2 into 1 factorial. 1 factorial is 1, we know that, so we'll get 1 here. So 1 factorial is 1, so we'll get 1. So 2 multiply 1, so we'll get 2 here. So 2 factorial is 2. Now 3 multiply 2, 6. So 3 factorial is 6. Here, instead of 3 factorial, we know the answer, that is 6. Now 6 multiply 4, 24. So 4 factorial value is 24. 24. Now 5 multiply 24, that is 120. We can find the factorial of 5 like this. To compute factorial of 5, the function calls itself as factorial of 4, then factorial of 3 and continues until the base case. Then results are combined. So we'll use this technique to solve this problem. 5 factorial can be written as 5 into 4 factorial. If I want to find n factorial, general terms, then n into n minus 1 factorial, right? 4 is nothing but 5 minus 1. So n into n minus 1 factorial. We'll use this formula to solve the problem. As I said, we'll use recursion. In the recursion, we have two main parts. One is base case and another one is recursive case. Let's talk about base case first. What is the base case in this problem? Base case is, we know the factorial of 0, that is 1. Also, we know the factorial of 1, that is 1. So we'll take these two as the base case. Why to take two conditions for base case? That is because if we take only 0 factorial as 1, then if I want to find the factorial of 1, we need an extra step. If we take base case as 1 factorial, that is when n is 1, then if input is 0, if I want to find 0th factorial, we won't get any answer, right? That's why I'll take both this condition as base case. And for the recursive case, we'll do the first step. To find the factorial of n minus 1, the function calls itself. Okay, let's write the program. Okay, in the Python file, first let's define a function. I'll take function name as factorial and here parameter. Parameter is n value, an integer number. We want to find the factorial of this number. Then let's write the base case. If n is equal to 0 or n is equal to 1, I'll use OR operator. If any one of this condition is true, then I'll return 1. Now recursive case, return n, that is first number, multiply to get the factorial of the remaining number, called factorial n minus 1. Here we are done. Next, let's take input from the user. Here we need an integer number. Then if n is less than 0, factorial is not defined for negative numbers. So if entered number is a negative number, then we'll print the message else. Let's call this function and we are done. Let's save this and execute this. Let me enter 0 first. Okay. Okay, so this is about factorial program using recursion. So that's it for now guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'll meet you in next class. Till then, take care.